it's Russell from What Drives Us, and this is our review of the 2020 Toyota Supra. Really, the Supra. You can't talk about the 2020 Supra without talking about its raison d'etre. It's a sports car. It's a speedster. It's a roadster. It's well, someone will argue with that, but it's a number of things. It's a car that's meant to go fast. It doesn't get good MPG. It's not the most comfortable car in the world. It's certainly not the biggest. It's meant to go fast. And it does that very well, as you might imagine. You've undoubtedly, at this point, heard that the 2021 Supra is even faster. And allegedly it is. Haven't driven it. There's 50 more horsepower. I think it's a difference between 335 and 385. And that undoubtedly makes the vehicle quicker. It also probably means it consumes more fuel, which the old Supra does at a prodigious rate. And I don't know what the point is. I guess the point is always that, and maybe especially for people who are going to buy this vehicle, that I need to shave another 1/10 of a second off a time, or I need to do something else that's a little bit, I'm not sure. I guess that's the whole point, really, is higher, faster, farther or something. No, wait, that's Air Force or something like that. To me, after spending a week in this car, needing to go faster in this framework, I'm not really sure what the point is. I mean, this car is crazy quick. And in any sort of even quasi-legal driving, the idea that you would need more acceleration or more top-end speed is ludicrous. And I use that word intentionally. When the 2020 Supra is not in sport mode, it has auto stop, which means that if the car is idling for a certain amount of time, the engine shuts off. The engine immediately starts up again once you let your foot off the brake. This is a really cool feature. It helps to save gas. I frankly don't understand why Toyota put it in this vehicle, because there's nothing about this vehicle that's MPG conscious. I mean, cheers to them for doing it, but it's odd, you know? But the world's full of odd things. The 2020 Supra comes with key wireless charging. There's a slot that is kind of covered with a hatch, and that's because most of the people who drive this car want to drive it fast and go around corners, and your phone without some sort of cover on it would slide off the key charging pad and hit one of the doors or fly around the cabin, and that would be frustrating. I get it, but the lid is also frustrating. It makes it hard to access, and it doesn't seem like a very great solution to me. What do I know? Very little. I've driven a lot of cars for What Drives Us over the years. A lot of very nice cars, a lot of average cars, a lot of cars that were unusual that a lot of people didn't care about, and a lot of cars that were unusual that people cared about. This red 2020 Supra might be the one vehicle that is drawing more attention than anything else I've ever driven. I'm shocked at the people that point and wave at traffic lights and walk up to me in parking lots and are taking video and pictures of the car. It's staggering. It's a beautiful car, and we can argue about that if you like. I mean, it's a gorgeous car in person. The red looks good, and I get it. But wow, I mean, you got to give Toyota credit. Whatever you think of this car, it attracts attention, and that's something. As I said in my review of the Lexus LC500, power without control, it can be fun, but it's not super useful. Toyota has hit a balance, and a balance that reminds me very much of the Kia Stinger. This car does not have the glue, whatever magical glue that is, and the LC500 that allows it to corner at insane speeds. This car slips a little bit, and I think that's intentional. I know it's intentional. And I think that appeals to certain drivers, whether it's full-on drifters or just somebody that wants a little bit of, you know, a little bit of play in the back end as you slide around. I'm not a big fan of that, because to me it feels like losing control, but I get it. And this car has that. If you appreciate that, maybe the Supra's your car. If not, you know, save up for the LC500. Right. So, one advantage the 2020 Supra has that the Mazda MX-5 Miata does not have: storage. There's actually room in the trunk. I've got 3 bags of groceries and 3 Pelican cases of camera equipment back there, and there's room for more. Which is to say that while it is a thoroughbred sports car, you could also take it to the grocery store. That's not bad. So this isn't a vehicle that was designed from the ground up as a Toyota vehicle. As I'm sure most of you have heard, this is sort of a collaboration between Toyota and BMW. This is essentially a BMW Z4 that Toyota has taken, changed the body, changed some of the interior, and retuned to their specifications. I personally don't, people say that in a good way and in a bad way. I don't really know. I mean, I can't imagine the car performing better. Obviously, the new one does, and they've done some different things to it. But that's not a result of the lack of collaboration. There are parts that are stamped BMW, and there are things that are very not Toyota. The steering wheel layout, for instance, the controls, I'm going to assume is BMW. It is definitely not Toyota. It is weird. The touchscreen in the 2020 has a BMW scroll wheel and button, which I find to be awful. In fact, I'm shocked somebody actually made the Lexus version of that scroll wheel and knob for the touchscreen actually worse. So cheers to BMW for that. It is awful. And this is actually a touchscreen though, unlike the Lexus. So it's touch and a control. I don't, honestly, just leave that spot blank. It would have been better as a touchscreen. Do you hear that? That's the horn. That's the horn in this car. It is the most ridiculous horn. I've heard mopeds with better horns. Okay, is that a trivial thing? Yes, I get nitpicky sometimes, but there it is anyway. The car comes with a selector switch, like many Toyotas do. There's a normal mode and a sport mode, and you can change some of the aspects of sport mode if you like and put them in normal or sport. I gotta tell you, honestly, the difference between sport mode and normal mode for everything but engine performance seems to be nearly the same. I found the ride to be very sporty in both modes, whereas the engine performance is definitely quicker, faster, and definitely way louder and throatier in sport mode than it is in normal mode. So I'm not saying that the tunable suspension isn't a great feature. I'm not seeing a big difference. Maybe if I was more track in tune, maybe if I took the car to the track and then I didn't see a big difference. On the freeway, the car rides about the same in either mode. On surface streets, the car rides about the same in either mode. Again, it really comes down to the engine, and that's when you see a big difference between normal and sport. Oh, eco mode? You're cute. Eco mode. Right. I have the JBL premium sound in this one, and it's okay. It's very okay. With a little bit of tweaking, it gets a little bit better than okay, but it's definitely not something to run out for. I'm going to say this a lot probably in this review, or who knows, maybe I'll edit them all out, but I think this is a car you buy for one reason. and everything else serves that purpose. So that the stereo in this car isn't insanely cool, not a big surprise, right? But it's fast. That it doesn't carry groceries, or it doesn't have a back seat. Goes fast. All of that stuff is less important than going fast, and that's what this car is. It goes fast, and it's fun to drive fast. I remember thinking this as soon as I got in the Mazda MX-5. I get why middle-aged men buy this car. You get in it, and you start it up, and you start to go down the road, and it's like, wow, this is cool. And you see heads turn everywhere. And you go, oh, this is kind of cool. Now, if that's your thing, right? It's not really my thing, but part of my job as a reviewer is to look at this stuff, notice it, and tell you what I'm seeing. Stuff that you might not get in a 10-minute test drive with the car dealer guy next to you yapping nonstop. I get it. This car makes you feel powerful. You get in it and you want to use it. You want to hear that engine roar. You want to go around a corner fast. You want to light up the tires. And I think I said something on Twitter. This is a machine for desire. And in a sense, I think that's really, really true. You get in it, and if it's effective, you really want to drive it. And you do. This is a fun car to drive. It's a blast. Now, would I want to do everything everywhere in it? Do I want to take a cross-country trip in it? No. No, it's fine. It's more comfortable than the Miata. And you could do it. It'd be great. It's got cruise and all that. That's cool. But for something like that, I'd rather have something larger, quieter, a little more creature comforty, you know, that kind of thing. But it goes fast. Did I mention it goes fast? It goes really fast. If someone held a gun to your head, you could drive this as a commuter. It's not fuel efficient, and it's not the most comfortable car in the world, although it's certainly more comfortable than a lot of performance vehicles that I've driven. But it is designed for that weekend out on the windy road. You know, it's designed for that open stretch of road out in the middle of nowhere where you've got a mile or two and you can give it some gas. That's what it's designed for. That's what it is supposed to do. So that when driving it, you feel that yearn, you feel that desire, is totally in context. It completely makes sense. I mean, anything else would be, how can you ignore this call of the wild, you know? I love what Toyota's done with the dash display. It is, again, perfect for this car. It is, and forgive me for maybe misusing this term, but it's a very racing-oriented panel. The best example is, of course, the speedometer numbers are two little numbers off to the side, and the only central gauge that is an analog style gauge, even though it's LCD, is the RPM, is the tachometer. So it's appropriate for the vehicle, and it displays all the information you want. And frustrating for me, because I'm used to having lots of instrumentation that's customizable and getting lots of figures and facts about what's going on around me and what's going on with the vehicle. There's very little real information you can put on that main display. The speed, the RPMs, yeah, how much gas you got left? Is the car overheating? Again, appropriate for the vehicle, completely in context. You know, again, little things that sort of jumped out at me while I'm complaining about the glow-in-the-dark escape hatch thing that's more visible than the pull-downs for the back hatch. The back hatch itself closing is really hinky. If you close it with any force at all, and I'm talking about a little or a great deal, it doesn't close. You get in the car, and then dash display says, hey, the back hatch is open. Damn it. You have to go back there and gently ease it down and then let it just cruise into place. It's not motorized, but it's finicky as hell. Other little things, like I said, the BMW layout of the steering wheel controls is just yuck to me. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. There's a certain sparseness to the dash, which is nice, but it's sparse. The touchscreen and the control center for that is awful. There's just no two ways about it. The key charging pad is cool, but the little cover on it kind of also, while it keeps your phone in one place, it also makes it much more difficult to use. There's no center console storage whatsoever. There's just the glove box and, of course, the passenger seat if you don't have a passenger. So there is that. It still has more storage than other vehicles that I've been in, but, you know, I got to talk about the one that I'm in here today, and that's the Supra. It's not difficult to reconcile a lot of the negative press this vehicle's gotten, a lot of the negative commentary this vehicle's gotten, when you look at how long it was out of circulation, that Toyota just didn't make it. And people wanted it and missed it, and it developed this sort of legendary, semi-mythic air. And a lot of that was built on what people had done to the old Supras, not so much the ones that roll out of the factory floor. So you have to, and I don't want to say you have to, Toyota has some huge balls for making this car, because no matter what, they had to know that a lot of people are going to be pissed off. It doesn't have a manual. It should have a 4-cylinder. It should have an 8-cylinder. It should have a different straight 6. Why the collaboration with BMW? No matter what, Toyota was going to get clobbered by people, because this car, people are so passionate about it. And people are so passionate about this category of car too, this sort of, 2-seater roadster performance car. And wow, what a surprise that this stirs people's hearts more than a Camry or a Corolla. Nothing against them. I love Camry and Corolla. I'm just saying, Toyota should get credit for that, and maybe get a little bit of slack for it. This is very much, in a sense, just a stripped down driving machine. And that is the raw, visceral pleasure that people get from driving it, that I got from driving it. Let me speak for myself. Again, you get in this car and you start it up and you feel a foot taller, maybe a little more hair, maybe a little bit younger even. I don't know. A machine, an inanimate object that can confer that sort of power to a person operating it, is one that is going to raise passions too, both good and bad. So in the end, what do I think of the 2020 Supra? Even knowing the 2021 Supra is probably better. I love the car. I think it's fantastic. It is definitely not a car for everyone. It is definitely not, in my opinion, a first and only car. Like the Mazda MX-5, it's a wonderful second car. Unlike the Mazda MX-5, the Supra doesn't have a lot of the drawbacks that the MX-5 has. So that's a huge thing. Hey everybody, thanks for watching our review of the 2020 Toyota Supra. An amazing car, and I hope you enjoyed the review. You can, of course, find us on social media, at What Drives Us on Twitter, at What Drives Us on Facebook, and of course, youtube.com/What Drives Us, where you're probably watching this right now. Thank you so much. Please do check in on those sites. Maybe like us, maybe subscribe on YouTube. It's a big help, and we appreciate that. And it costs you nothing, and we won't even bother you on email. So how's that? Thanks again, and until the next time, drive safe.